right, folks, welcome back to PEG Wrestling. We are here. And we have a great show tonight, folks. A great show. A great weekend of wrestling that we're going to recap. Okay, starting with last night's duel. It was rescheduled to last night, Oklahoma State, NC State. And followed by that, it's going to be the big announcement. Spencer Lee is going to be wrestling Ono. Okay, what is this, February 26th? Brooks, Brooks Valencia. In addition to that, dude, there's rumors Ben Askren and Dylan, I don't even know how you say his last name, Kevin, but
Felicio.
We're going to get into that, folks. We're going to get into that.
Can I just say right out of the gates, I threw up in my mouth when I seen your stupid little thumbnail. Last Stand. What kind of delusional world are you in over there? Well, now, Kevin, I think I understand because we got the people we got coming in after our studs leave. You know, these weaklings, the
horrible
Dukes of the world. How's Duke gonna get Penn State any points? Lillendahl, we got to put up with him for going 4 or 5 more years. Blaze. I gotta. I don't know how. Why don't you just become an Oklahoma State fan over there?
Could be the last stand. I'm going to get into it. I got some advice for Penn State fans out there. Listen, a lot of people saying I'm a Penn State hater. A lot of people saying that out there, dude. I'm hearing it on the streets.
It's like.
And hold up, folks. Hold up, dude. I got advice for Penn State, but, you know, in addition to that, we got to talk about UNI a little bit. Some injuries and a lot of stuff, dude. A lot of stuff. But first and foremost, folks, I think we got to start with last night's duel. Okay, it was Oklahoma State. It was NC State. Kevin is joining us. Kevin, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing? All right?
Doing well. Folks, join in the comments, and we can get your comments added to the show. But last night, okay, it was Oklahoma State, NC State, 34-3, and there's a few upsets going on last night. Some stuff to talk about. First and foremost, dude, welcome Vincent Robinson.
Yes.
Is the only win for NC State, but in a big way over the number 2 ranked Troy Spratley, folks.
Yes.
And, I mean, that was
that throws everybody for a loop. Like, who should I pick? Who should I pick now? Because
125 always up in the air.
I know.
Kevin?
You know, Kevin, do you agree? 125, it's a mess, but it's kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what, man. It took me hours to do the rankings just for this weight. I had to take a break and go to other weights because it was just driving me nuts. And there's just constant chaos. But it's going to be wild come March.
Yes.
Oh, it will be. And, I mean, you saw it right there first and foremost. So,
hey, how about my man? You remember when everybody was laughing at me? Oh, look at Wayne. He's picking Cale Hughes to win CKLV. Looks like Wayne might have knew something.
Cale Hughes comes out and pins Kai Oreen. It absolutely killed me in Wrestle Madness. But
Wrestle Madness.
Hello, Cale Hughes. Dude, is he starting? Is he even starting there this year, right? Or no?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I put him in our rankings. How do you not start him after that? He's undefeated. That's a perfect example to me of how coaching helps and what's going on in that room. You look at him compared to where he was right before CKLV and him last night. Huge difference. Huge difference.
Something tells me he's had that shoulder. You notice how that shoulder was wrapped up.
Yeah.
With one arm, he couldn't beat Whitcraft. So back when we were saying, daggone it was Whitcraft that went to CKLV. Whitcraft must be beating Hughes.
Yeah.
No, I think Hughes was hampered. He ain't hampered no more.
I mean, clearly not, dude. He looked good.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
Kai Oreen got pretty dominated if you really watch that match, dude. And
and he just went down a weight class too, Irene. You know, he was at 141 and he goes down and he got ridden hard on that second period. And woof.
Yeah, is Oreen the one that stuck his tongue out?
Yes. We haven't seen that tongue in a long time, folks, have we?
Because we got a couple celebrations out there. We got Stevenson going Stevenson going third person and then giving us the Hawk flex at the end. That's his thing. We got AJ and his split, which, by the way, if that's as close as he can get to a real split, I'd cut it. Or should I say, when you're beating a D2 guy, you pin. I don't know if I get to split out that match. I just don't. I mean, maybe just for the big match or something, we're better. Or here's one, and Kevin, I'm going to pick on you a little bit. This guy, Shapiro, Zach, we all will agree. This guy's scary, right? Well, he's got this. I didn't notice it, Kevin, until this. Yes, he's got this airplane thing that he does, and it's kind of, can I just say it's kind of goofy? Just a little bit.
Oh, it's cheeseball. He's a cheeseball. This guy is a cheeseball.
And okay, I'm done complaining about these guys that have any kind of ritual, because we have a guy like Bartlett. Now, could you imagine what he could put together? He's got these impressive little flips he does on social media.
Ooh.
Give us a flip, dude. Give us a flip.
Isn't he in Armani commercials, Bo Bartlett?
This might
be like
yeah.
that, dude. He's in some like high end. He should do a flip and a fragrance spray or something. Right?
I wonder if this is going to end up going down the pike that you're going to drive us on. Is maybe he's not allowed to do this kind of stuff.
No, he is, but I'll get into it. Hold tight. Hold your britches over there.
Now, wait, I want to, one more thing about this match, or a couple things, is, all this praise to David Teller, and he is doing a great job, but we had a couple examples where I didn't see any improvement from last year. Now, we can't just gauge it off of one match. I'm talking about Hamidi, of course.
Okay.
What?
Okay, I was going to talk about the Hamidi match because it was against the freshman Matt Singleton, and my takeaway from that was Matt Singleton is right there, dude.
Boom. Here was Singleton. It wasn't this coming down. It was Singleton.
Yes. And you know why I know that? You know why I know that? Because did you see what Hamidi did after the match? He felt the need to stare Singleton down, dude, and he just faced him up to the point that Singleton
he wouldn't let go of his hand.
He was going after him.
He wouldn't let go of his hand at the handshake. They were shaking hands, and he wouldn't let go of Singleton's hand. He shook his hand. He went to go away, and he still had his hand. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
He just stared him down, and I thought, and that's when it hit me. Like that match, I thought, what was this, a fluky match? And then it hit me. No, Singleton is here.
No.
Hamidi is worried. He's worried about seeing him in the future. He wants him to know in the future, I'm a big dog in the future. But in reality, dude, he actually showed maybe a little weakness there, Hamidi. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, and even like Plot. We've seen some matches, and you can't gauge everything off of one match. I understand that. But if I'm gauging what Plot looked like last night compared to what, let's calm everything down that David turned the water into wine over down there in Oklahoma State. Well,
here's
Caleb Fish. Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, here's a couple of things real quick on that. Is I think, like, I'm kind of with Zach, where I think it was a lot more about Singleton than it was about Hamidi. Singleton, people don't realize, he does have a few losses, but his losses are, he lost to Incontrera, he lost to DeVos in overtime, he lost to Simon Ruiz from Cornell, but then he beat Simon Ruiz, so he split the series with him, and that's it. I mean, he's beaten, or he lost to Braunagel by 1 point. He doesn't have any, like, real bad losses. And he was in Hamidi's legs. He had beautiful shots. Hamidi's really hard to finish on. And I just think it was a lot more about, I was impressed by Singleton more than I thought there was something wrong with Hamidi.
Kevin, did you come away with this thought too? Forget the team score. There was matches where I came away, I'm impressed with Coach Pop.
Oh, yeah. He's always got a solid, his guys will always fight.
34-3. But I'm telling you, you've seen signs where that man's doing a job down there.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
Except for like
even Fields didn't give up. Fields looked like he was going to get hammered right away by Amin, and he's down 3-0 right away, and he ends up 5-2. Those guys fight for sure.
They did, but listen, except for like Ed Scott got beat by Caleb Fish. That was technically an upset.
Yeah.
And then Wyatt Hendrickson was just absolutely dominant over Trumbull. He was dominant, dude.
What?
Not as bad as last time.
What?
Not as bad as last time, though.
Okay, but let's be honest, dude. Trumbull never had a chance in that match.
Well, it was a pin last time, guys. When they wrestled at CKLV, Hendrickson just rolled him up and pinned him like nothing in the first period. He made him look goofy. I was shocked that he didn't major him.
By the way, him not getting that major, he gets the major. I win Madness. Wrestle Madness.
Man.
I finished second. That hurt. That just hurt.
Oh, damn.
Neither of us have yet to
Can I just say, I knew the thing is wow, we seen Hendrickson get pushed a little bit here. And you notice the cheeks were turning red and stuff. Can I bring something up? Everybody's going to really get ready for some hate comments coming, Zach. Did anybody else notice Mr. Gable Stevenson's coming? Gable Stevenson's getting a little heavy.
Okay.
Did you notice
He's big.
Midsections get little. I know he's up to 275 or whatever. That midsection's growing too. I'm just saying, maybe if we can push him a little bit, somebody might get a little tired and slow.
Okay, we're going to get into it.
No! Whoa!
Because he was dominant this past weekend, but...
Yes.
Oh,
boy. People are just loving
Kevin,
me up
final
right
thoughts
now.
on this dual meet. I mean, it was moved to Monday night, which I absolutely loved, by the way.
That was great. It was great. I think Vincent Robinson, he's 14-1. His only loss was his injury default, and he is a title contender. He's a little on the small side. I swear he looks smaller than he did at CKLV. He looked. Did you guys think he looks a lot smaller than Spratley?
I thought he looked like a big dog.
But man, he is a stud. No, Zach, you're right, man. I'm
telling you right now, dude. I'm telling you right now. Wow. Look out, 125. My goodness. But okay, folks, because we got to move on because there was some big news. Flo announced just earlier this week that and kudos, Spencer Lee will be wrestling Ono. I'm not even going to try to say his first name, but
a whole
February
bunch of kudos.
26th.
Kudos to Flo.
Day after my birthday.
To Brooks and Valencia. Kudos especially to Lee and Ono. I mean, anything I've ever said about Lee, I take back.
Lee, an absolute dog, dude. He's going to be wrestling Ono.
He is.
In addition to that, I guess the 1B match would be Valencia versus Brooks. Hopefully, no singlet pools this time around, right?
But you got to give it the flow. They're tapping in. We were starting to think we're not going to see any cards anymore. Well, not only are we coming with a card, which I don't know how they brought this together, and please, people, we as wrestling lovers, all of us, whether you like what we say, whether you don't, that's all bond together. That's watch this event. That's pay for this event. Whatever you got to do, let's support this event because us having additional cards. Tell me this is a Wednesday night in late February. And quite frankly, all the big duels are kind of done and we're waiting for conferences and Flo comes along and hits us with the home run right here. Yeah. And, even the going after Askren and his little feud with Policio. Did I say that name right, Kevin?
Yeah.
He's
Policio. Uh-oh, did we lose Kevin?
Yep.
Yeah, he's there.
Can you hear me?
I'm not hearing him, but are you hearing him?
He's echoing a little bit, but
okay.
Keep going.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, the fact they're putting it together is absolutely awesome. And I thank you. Thank you, Flo, and thank you, all you wrestlers. Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
No, I'm looking forward to it. But in all honesty, dude, the favorite in this match is going to be Ono, right?
Yeah, guys. I mean, Ono's 65-kilogram guy that went down to 61 kilograms. He was 65 at the Olympic trials. And to me, he looks a lot better at the senior worlds than he did even at the junior worlds. He's outscored his opponents in both of them, a combined 95-4.
Yeah, Absolute stud. Are you hearing him good?
Yeah, well, Kevin's got some echo, but I can hear him. Listen, the thing is what this shows to me is Spencer Lee's dead serious about winning in L.A.
No, I'm
he's
looking
dead
forward
serious,
to, and it makes me think he's probably likely gotten better and getting better.
Yeah.
So, and for Ono, man, he's a big American wrestling fan. So I think he's looking for a school to maybe go to.
What?
I don't know.
Really?
Right?
You know,
how old is he?
I thought about this whole angle that all these transfers and new recruiting starts going international, and all of a sudden you have teams plucking studs from other Olympic teams, and
he's only 19 years old.
19 years old, yeah, exactly. He could go to college here in the States.
Yeah.
In Iowa or Penn State, because I saw he's been in both. He visited both. I saw that, but also Valencia Brooks. But in addition to that, there's other matches. There's a comment. Isn't Carr wrestling too? I don't know. I have not heard that Carr is wrestling. I don't know.
Wow.
That's
I
believe
would even make it better.
I think he's talking about the ranking series event, maybe.
Okay,
or maybe he's doing both. But I know that on this specific day, I thought it was strange. They're having there's a ranking series event on the same day that they're doing this, which I thought was kind of strange that they picked this day to do it.
Interesting. But,
wow.
There are other matches there. And one that's brewing, folks, I got to talk about it because I don't know if you've seen the social media, folks, but there's a little beef going on here. How do you say his name?
I think it's
Dylan
Palacio.
Palacio.
And Ben Askren.
Palacio.
This must go way back. I don't even know, dude. But read the tweets here.
Kevin, he's a Cornell guy.
Sign it and
don't even.
Up.
Oh, what do you mean? Don't even.
I can't even deal with this dude, man.
Dude,
I can't stand this kid, man. I can't. I hope Ben Askren whoops his.
Zach, he's not a true Cornell fan. There's never been a Penn State wrestler that I won't stand up for, even the ones I'm not wild about.
I keep it real, guys. I keep it real. He talks a lot of smack, but he's not going to do anything. He's not going to show up. This won't account to anything. Ben Askren's already tried to make him, and he didn't show up. He came up with some BS excuse.
Really?
Ben would whoop him.
Because I mean, I guess Dylan made the first post saying it would be awesome if I could get you calling out Askren. He says, "Sign it, show up," and he'll show up. And then Pyle says, "You in, Dylan?" And then Ben says, "If he agrees, I will happily show up."
Oh yeah, that don't surprise
take him back to the barn.
Ben's been talking about him for quite some time on FRL.
Apparently, yeah, but this Dylan guy is apparently the people's champ, dude. I looked him up. He's the people's champ, Kevin.
Champ. Dang.
No, man.
I'm as much intrigued in that match as I am the others. Is that crazy?
Yes.
I want to see it, Ben.
Well, if you don't mind me saying, when you got some cocking off going on social media and stuff, I was an old timer for the longest time. You actually turned me a little, Zach. I was thinking, I don't like any of that stuff. Stay humble and all that stuff. Look, I've entered a new stage as far as this sport. This sport is so busy trying to kill itself that I'm in for anything that brings eyeballs to this sport. We're going to need it, especially with what's coming with profit share and whatnot. So I even I'm going to say something that's going to be real controversial. There's people that absolutely hate who's the guy? Pat
Minio?
Yeah.
Minio?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't hate Pat Minio. You know why? I kind of like the drama that comes. I'm waiting for the next match. If he's going to say something that turns wrong, I got to give him credit in one thing. Is he doesn't worry about what other people think. And two kinds of people I've noticed succeed in this world is one is you're not afraid of fear, and another one is you don't care what other people think, you're going to do it anyway. Now, Minio could have said that better. And maybe we're transitioning into something
Well, that's
here.
perfect. That's a perfect transition because it actually takes me into, we're talking about drama. It takes me to the next match, which Minio actually called the best dual meet of the year thus far, I believe. It was Ohio State Rutgers, folks. It was 17-15 Ohio State pulling it out. There were a couple upsets here.
And let me just, before we get going on it, one last sentence about Minio and stuff is that's a sensitive, people seem to love or hate him. And I'm just saying, I love attention come to the sport, and you have to admit he's right. He's right a lot.
Well, I'll say this too. I'll go back to, I said on the radio the other day, there's just so much space in this sport. He's filling a space.
Yeah.
He's filling a space that's not.
I don't have any problem with him putting stuff out. My only problem with him is if you don't agree with him, he gets you off the site. That's been my only problem with it. If you're not on board with him, he won't have like a debate. He's he'll just cut you right off from the site. That's my only problem with him. But as far as him trying to get information out, whatever. Like he's trying to get information out. Yeah, like you said, Wayne, he could have worded it better. For sure.
And you know what? He shouldn't just be quick at the trigger to you're banned. See ya. I take it you got banned or something, Kev?
Huh? No. I left the site about 2 years ago. I got into this argument with him and his bun buddy there, the other guy, that admin, and they kept just going at it, and they're like, who's with me, like one of those things trying to get at, and all his little kiss butts were like, oh, we're with you, Pat. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous, and they wouldn't stop. I finally was like, I gotta get out of this. This is toxic. This is just a toxic environment.
Wow. All right. Well, listen, let's move on because
I'm sorry.
I'll say this. I try my hardest not to ban. I try my hardest not to ban BEG from anything, but sometimes people step over the line. But it was Rutgers, Ohio State, and folks, there was a couple upsets here. Peterson over McCrone at 125. It was Shawver upsetting Bouzakis with a takedown with 20 seconds left there at 133. That was kind of surprising. Sasso returns and got a win over number 33, Connor Harar. And then it was Feldman with the late takedown to win the duel, really, and drama there. But, I mean, were you impressed with Feldman over Slav there?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I'm going to just say it. Feldman's head, his confidence, is down some. You can see it in his wrestling. You can just see it. Like normally, I would say when his confidence is up, he runs away from Slav. And Slav's great. Don't get me wrong. But heck, our second stringer over there at Penn State beat Slav. So, he's great. But I'm just saying, I'm seeing a different Feldman than one confident Feldman. And I guess that could go with any wrestler, right?
Yeah, I agree, though. I'm not impressed with that. Kevin, were you?
Yeah. I thought that match was horrible, and I thought, honestly, I was just thankful that I was thankful that Slav actually took a shot at the end because Feldman wasn't going to take a shot anytime soon. We were just going to see them dance around in overtime for 2 more minutes, and then it was going to be decided in double overtime. But thank you, Slav, for just shooting in and at least trying. Because, like I said, Feldman had no intentions.
It was actually a counter
for
shot.
A big guy, you take Hendrickson and how slick he is at shooting. Well, you could say Stevenson, too. I was picking on Stevenson back there. Sorry, you Stevenson fans. He's very good at shooting. Wondering how well he shoots after he gets tired, after that gut starts wearing on you a little bit. But anyway, Hendrickson is so good at shooting. I would have said the guy that rivals that is Feldman. And all of a sudden, Kevin, he's evolved into he doesn't even shoot.
Yeah, well, we lost Kevin. But, no, I agree. Because that winning takedown, I'm sure he'll call back in. That winning takedown was actually a counter shot. With just, 30 seconds left on the clock there. So it did pull out the win for Ohio State. But, I mean, in addition to that, like, Sammy Sasso's back. I don't know, though. Is that promising for him in the future or just – and I think – he bumped down a weight, right? Or no?
Maybe. I mean, he beat a number like a low 30s ranked guy. And Sammy needs to just continue to progress to get on the podium. And I don't doubt he probably will. But I don't know. I mean, I think Ohio State, a lot of their plans got shot in the foot not shot in the foot, but that red shirt freshman, now I forget what his name was. He won a big duel just the other night, and then he came out and lost his duel. You don't have all the results to that duel, do you?
Yeah, I have him up on the screen here. It was you talking about McCrone? Or?
No, Burden ends up losing.
Etan Burden there at 165.
Barbosa. Yeah.
To Barbosa.
Barbosa beats Burden. And that kind of surprised me a little bit because Burden came out and beat kind of a high-ranked guy, and I thought, oh, my goodness, Ohio State had a gem in their back pocket. And this may be trouble as far as Sammy actually making the team for nationals.
Yeah.
But, no.
Not so much, though.
But,
yeah. All right, but, you're talking about trouble for Ohio State. I got trouble. I got news. I got trouble for Ohio State because it's Vince Bouzakis.
That was good to see.
Who apparently did just flip his commitment from Ohio State. What do you mean that's good to see? To Pitt?
I love Pitt. Did he flip from Ohio State? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Was he committed to Ohio State?
I mean, Nick Bouzakis is there. You think Vince Bouzakis, he was committed there, and he flipped.
Wow.
To Pitt.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Now, I don't know.
I didn't know he officially committed to Ohio State. Yeah, I knew about Nick, but wow.
I mean, everything I read said he flipped.
That's kind of like maybe them two brothers are like you and your brother. You guys are
get along
constantly
growing up.
packing. Papa, I got to step in there. I got to step in there and say, let's come together, boys.
Yeah. I don't know.
Corey's laughing right now. But, wow.
Kevin will be calling back in here momentarily, folks. But, yeah, that was a little surprising. And there you go. Kudos to Pitt. But listen,
glad to see it.
Yeah, let's move on. I got a program I want to talk about, and it's University of Northern Iowa. Okay,
Yes.
I got the dual meet up here against.
You're always talking about Iowa. Why don't you just move to Iowa? Huh?
Well, listen.
Why don't you just pack your bags and go to Iowa? Why don't you?
You got to talk about these guys right now. And Doug Schwab, because Kevin's calling back in, but they went out. They just won the, the National Duels champion here.
Yes.
And in an impressive way. Welcome back, Kevin. And beat some good teams.
What
Kevin,
happened there?
We were talking about it. Welcome back to the show. This may be the number 4 best dual team in the country, okay? And I don't know if you guys had a chance to hear the Doug Schwab interview after the fact, but
loved it.
They were cracking on him about mid-major, and he got a little offended. And
Kevin was quick at the analysis draw with UNI because Kevin's the first one. He comes and he's first one starting to float the idea, is this the 4th best team ever? And I've now seen it at multiple places. Flo mentioned, is this the 4th best team? But first I heard it from you, Kev, and I didn't think in them terms yet. I know he's doing a heck of a job down there or out there, but maybe you're right.
I mean, they have a chip on their shoulder, but, and clearly they have the benefit. I go back to the Coach Roby interview where we talked about how having a national championship and a champion in the room, the difference that makes. And they got Parker Keckeisen, dude. And, he led in this dual meet by dominating the 7th-ranked Bennett Berge. I don't think anyone expected that kind of domination 11-3. But he's leading a room where all of a sudden at 133 you got Julian Farber there knocking off Cardinal. You got and several others. But
well, before we send Coach Schwab one of Kevin's trophies, can I just give a little criticism? Last I heard, he sat one of his studs, Keckeisen, in the gym. How are you in the gym and not wrestling?
Against Angelo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't like that.
Yeah, at the Soldier Salute.
Coach Schwab, come on now.
Schwab liked to talk real tough in that that last press conference, and he is. You are, Coach. You are. I understand.
You had some kind words for him last episode.
Dude, really? Quite frankly, I could tell Angelo was disappointed. Angelo was ready to go. That's dance. Angelo probably wanted to say that. That's dance. Come on.
I don't think Angelo is afraid of anyone, but
No. Definitely
and neither
not.
is Keck. So somebody got in the way of this party.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who it was, but hey, UNI's partying right now, and including that. How about Jared Sima there at 174, knocking off Cade DeVos? Right? I mean, this is a young team, young coach. They got a chip on their shoulder. People calling them mid-majors, dude, trying to bully them around, and Coach Schwab said, "I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so."
Yeah,
so,
good for him too. By the way, good for him. I mean, that guy was. I loved his answer. He's like, they are. I think they're the fourth best team in the country. I mean, look just no further. I mean, you got, Ohio State barely beat Rutgers, right? I mean, it was 15-14 going into that last match. Nebraska took out Minnesota, right? And then Ohio State stomped Illinois. And then Northern Iowa beat Nebraska. It's looking to me like they're the clear number 4 team, and they're just top to bottom, man. They're surprisingly good from top to bottom.
Yeah. Well, hey, they're going to be a fun team to watch. Hopefully they keep progressing. Go ahead.
It's going to be important too. Am I right, Kevin? They are giving out 4 trophies this year. I know they're making collections
is the fourth one
for fans to put money in this kettle. So we have enough money for the 4th trophy. But yeah, I think we're back to 4 trophies.
Now, here's the thing, too, though. I don't know if they're necessarily the 4th best tournament team in the country, which is different than dual. But if you ask me, my opinion, I think they're the 4th best dual team for sure. It's going to be tough because, it's all comes down to, do they have a guy that's going to win a title? I don't know. I mean, Kakai's going to have to beat Strachey, right? And how many finalists do they have? Maybe just Strachey. So it's tough because you really got to get those high-end points to get up there,
That's
but we'll see.
Yeah, that's different. That's a good point. Fair point. But let's move on. Let's talk about another dual meet that some highly ranked squads here. It was number 4 Nebraska, number 5 Minnesota, and it was Nebraska winning 21-13. This goes back to Saturday. And, there's a couple duels there to mention. Caleb Smith upsets
the Hardy Von Bar
that was a
match
fun match. Okay,
was
that was
the
just
thing
fun.
that reminded all of us why we love this sport. That was just that was art happening right before our eyes.
That
right
was
there.
Fun.
That was fun. 12-10.
12-10. Hardy pulled it out, and that came down to the wire. But Antrell Taylor beat Tommy Askey 4-1 there. But how about Max McNelly dominating Alaret 16-8?
I know.
Hello. You said you wanted to see this, man.
I know.
Just the other week when he came out.
How daggone fun is 84 this year? Kevin, how fun is 84 this year?
Someone was talking about McNelly, and he was a really good football player. And a few people said he is the best athlete they've seen in wrestling in quite some time. Like, he's just an amazing athlete, and he's really focused in on wrestling. And he just dominated that match a lot. I didn't think it would be like that, to be honest with you.
No, I don't think many people did. But I think now, moving forward, we're going to rethink him because, my goodness.
It's going to be a war from like the quarters in. We see guys like Fishback give plot fits, and we could keep going with the Bennett Bergies, and they got quite a few landmines before we get to the semis. And, everybody's got the 3 down there. It'll be Carter, and it'll be Keckeisen, and it'll be Plot. And I'm telling you, that would not be a weight that would shock me if
McAnally. And especially looking forward here the next couple of years.
But can I finish that by saying that I just don't see a way that Carter has to lose this. No one's going to beat him. Carter might beat himself, but other than that, this is Carter's. And, he gave his little interview to Bo.
I saw that.
And, he talked about that we get little peeks into Cale's mastery. And, sometimes it's just that sentence at the right time. And it flicks that switch we talked about. And it did with Carter last year. He's walking around a bum knee, and he maybe pitying himself a little bit. And Cale seen it. And he said, I loved it. Look,
well, we don't really know what went on behind the scenes there. But I'll say this. I'm a big Carter fan. But naturally, dude, with that much success, you are prone to taking a step back. As great as anyone is, as the greatest athletes of all time, dude, you're prone to it. My only concern is that maybe he takes a step back, but I would agree.
I think that I think that I don't know, maybe you guys agree with me on this, maybe you don't, but and it might sound funny even saying this, but if there was ever such a thing as a dominant, not dominant, but just an absolute controlled sudden victory win, it was when he wrestled Keckeisen. At no point in that match did I think Keckeisen was going to win that match. I'm not saying it's going to look like that in March. Keckeisen seemed to be a little, he's breathing a little heavy, It's an early season, but both guys are going to get better throughout the season. But at no point, when I left that match, I was like, it's Strachey isn't going to lose this match in March. That's just.
Maybe it's not Keckeisen, dude. Maybe it is like, McAnally. Maybe it's a young guy who comes up out of nowhere, okay? Because clearly, Keckeisen and Strachey have seen, 4 years of each other? They have each other so scouted out. They know every move they're going to do. But a McAnally, you don't know everything he's going to. I'm just telling you. I'm just going to say that, but.
That's very true. The thing is why I say ultimately this is a race for second place is because he's so fundamentally sound and solid, and he works so hard that it's going to be hard to crack that armor. And he doesn't get wowed ever. Like, he stays in that controlled state. You take another just unbelievable wrestler is like Shapiro. Shapiro has a chance of losing because he'll get wild and crazy at times. Now, I think he's trying to cog that down a little bit.
Hold tight on him. We're going to talk about him. But before we get into him, I want to one final thought on this duel was, Gable's back. I don't know. Absolute domination. You said he looked a little heavy, but
he did.
I got to say, what happened to, what was it, Nash Hutmacher?
He's just playing
football. He's trying to go pro. And if it's honestly, I think it's scary that Stevenson put on that 20 pounds. When I heard he put on 20 pounds and I saw him move against Tay there, I was like, oh man, this is just not good.
I know.
He's just,
Look, I'm taking the one. Every person in the world is on that side. Look how great he is. I'm taking the other side. I am. The other side needs somebody.
The wrong side? You're taking the wrong side? Go ahead.
The wrong side.
Okay, folks. All right, you're taking the wrong side, but we got to move on. Just a couple notes from the Iowa-Wisconsin match. First, I just want to mention the only match really specifically was 125. Joey Cruz beating Nicolas Rivera. Again, we go back to these 125 and this weight class just
and that guy impressed us no end in Florida.
Yeah, and then did not there. And quite frankly, the whole Wisconsin team really didn't. So
I was just generally disappointed with the amount of fight.
That the whole team had. The whole Badger team had. Yeah.
And then the whole production.
At home.
And we're talking about an outstanding program here. And, I mean, every T needs crossed, every I needed dotted. I'm not here to put anyone down, folks. I'm not. But, like, even who's calling the match, everything, effort has to be put into this. We need the best we can possibly have. Because that's how you turn a program around when there's recruits looking and saying, that's exciting. I like what I'm seeing going on there. I don't care if it is just the announcer. You're putting every element into marketing yourself. And I don't see that. Even if it's just fight. You got shut out, but you know what? How many times did we see, Kevin, a team go out there, maybe lose them all, but every match they went out there and they had fight.
Well,
absolutely.
We were clearly disappointed with Wisconsin, but how about on the Iowa end at 125? Did we fill a hole there? Like, what's going on, Joey Cruz? Because that could be impactful in the team race.
Yeah.
I mean, is that fluky? I don't know. We don't know, but
I guess that's give Cruz some credit and lighten up a little bit with all the critique here.
Okay, let's move on.
Rivera, Wisconsin, everything. Look at Mr. Big Boy over there complaining about the world. Shut up and sit down there, big boy.
All right, one final dual meet, folks, that happened. I want to talk about it was Cornell and Lehigh. Cornell winning 23-19. That
was a good duel.
A couple upsets though. For Lehigh over Cornell was at 141. Bailey over Saunders and Malik Hines over Ethan Fernandez. But as you did mention, Meyer Shapiro, the number 1 ranked wrestler at 157, is back, and he looks scary good.
Lethal.
Kevin, I know you got some new info maybe in his practice process. I don't know. You want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah.
What's Cornell's what's going on in Cornell?
So they've been running with about 4 to 5 starters per duel, which has been very frustrating for all of us fans, and we've just had no idea of what's going on really. Finally today, got some answers. Greg Diakomahalis is out for the year, which is a shame. 9-0 guy, and yet again another season where we can't see him. I don't know what the injury is. I do know he had a neck brace on. That's where I left that. So with that being said, Unger is going down to 125, which I found interesting because when I saw him wrestle Bird, he looked bigger than Bird. He grew a lot. And by the way, he lost to Bird 1-0 this year, and he was in on the shot at the end of the match. Unger is someone to look at 125. Not 133, but 125 for sure. He's going to wrestle at the Cyclone Open at 125 this weekend coming up. So you got Unger, then Tyler Ferrara. He's going to be the 133-pounder. He's a freshman, 7-2. Cornella is definitely out for the year. So Saunders is going to be in there for the rest of the year. Hopefully Greg and Cornella get a medical hardship this year, which is what the Ivies call the medical shirt. So then as you look through, everyone else is starting except for at 197, Delegata is going to be at the Cyclone Open as well this weekend, and he'll likely be taking the spot at 197. So that's the update. Unger's going down to 125. That's the big one.
Well, okay. I appreciate those updates, but I don't know if you want to talk about like how Shapiro's tweaked literally how he's practicing in the room.
Yeah,
right?
So first off, they said that and you can kind of see this a little bit in his interview, but they said that he's avoiding all upper body throws. He was getting goofy with these body locks, and every time he got in that position, he would land on his head. That's where all these concussions came from. So they said absolutely no more of these goofy body locks. You got too many weapons with your misdirection, your ducks, your low singles. Way too many weapons to be doing that. So he's cut that out completely. They said, though, that he has absolutely been dominating everyone in the room. And regardless of weight, he has just been on a mission. They said that it's the best. They say he looks way better this year than he did last year. And I'd have to agree with that with his 3 matches. They were really disappointed that his first match ended up with an injury default because he hit his head. But they said that they wouldn't be surprised if he bonused his way all the way through the season, which he has so far since he came back. Yeah.
Okay, Shapiro's in the practice room, and let's just pretend that he's even kind of dominating Foca. That's kind of hard on Foca's confidence, and maybe that's why Foca goes out and wins 2-0 over a guy he should be destroying. Of course, you said he always struggles against Lehigh, but I'm trying to look inside here, and Shapiro's causing more damage than good over there.
How about this? What if I said this? If you go back just, a year and a half ago, dude, you were talking about Shapiro being an undefeated 4-time national champ. How about for the first time ever, could we say Shapiro might actually be healthy and under a practice program to help him avoid injury, wrestling a style that could help him avoid injury. And this might be the best Shapiro we've ever seen, and he might be the most dominant wrestler in the weight class. Could happen. How about number 6 in the fantasy draft? Is that my pick? Could I steal him at number 6?
Wait.
Woo.
Bonus
Kevin.
point city, baby.
I hate that. I hate the fact he's probably going to get Shapiro. But the part that scares me a little bit is you talk about, okay, he's going to try to avoid them upper body throws because that's when he ends up hitting his head and stuff. You know how hard it is to change something you've done your whole life? Because when you're in the heat of action, and that's what your go-to is, that's what clicks right in your brain right that second. And if it's a big match, do you think he's going to be stopping that throw because, that's right, I can't throw?
Okay, not impossible, though. I would compare it to, like, running quarterbacks. They are coached either not to run or to slide. Shapiro can be coached, and he's still young. He can be coached to avoid some of these.
Here's the thing with him is, normally, Wayne, I'd say no. It would be impossible, because a lot of the stuff that makes Shapiro really good is that just craziness that he has. But with this specific thing, if you've noticed his match with Ed Scott, Conway, even the Lehigh match, he's not putting his hips in where he's getting in these upper body positions. His arms are so long. He's doing quick snap go behinds where it looks like it looks so effortless. He's just setting the guy down, going around. And also his misdirections. He's not really having to get into like really hard ties with any of these guys.
I think.
Yeah.
I can't hear him.
Okay.
But anyway, I think
we're making baby steps though, aren't we?
Yes.
You want me to take this off?
We're talking about the injuries. Let's move on to the injuries. So, folks, we had some injuries, announced here recently. I just want to go down the line. Here's a quick list of some of the biggest names who are out for the year. We'll do an update here. Ryan Crookham. I know we wanted to talk about him. Kevin, let's have you.
Want me to take this off?
Up and call right. No, he's in. He's in. That means it's us. So.
Okay. While you're playing, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I have a interview Thursday to go back to trucking, to jump back in a truck and get going. We tried, Zach. We tried to get someone, please, we want to call your matches. We want to stream your event. We failed at marketing ourselves. And now I got to go trucking again. No, seriously, I'll still be around. It's going to get a little tougher. It's going to get a little more challenging. You're not going to be seeing me quite as much because I'm going to be in a truck. But I feel pretty good, Zach. Feel good about
all right, I think we got Kevin
getting this
here.
job. I don't feel good about getting this job. I know I can get the job, but boy, am I bummed out. Sorry to bring everybody down. Way to light the show up, Dad.
Kevin, are you here?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Right. Well, listen, Kevin, go ahead. I'm going to figure out the audio, but I got the Crookham injury up here. I don't know. Go ahead and give everyone, because I know everyone can still hear Kevin. Give everyone kind of your breakdown on the Crookham injury.
Yeah, so basically I talked to somebody that's pretty close with the program, and they said that he does in fact have a hairline fracture in his elbow. I know when it was posted out there, it sounded, you just got a broken elbow. So apparently it's a hairline fracture, and there's really one of three things that are going to happen here. And this person said that each of those things are about equally probable. One, Crookham is going to get a medical hardship, and we won't see him for the rest of the year. Two, if that's the case, we're going to have, or one, if he gets a medical hardship, they're going to have their 125-pounder Repos move up to wrestle 133. The second scenario is Crookham gets the medical hardship and Stanich goes down to 133, which is interesting. And if Stanich goes down to 133, he would have to do so by February 7th, the Bucknell. match. And the third scenario is Crookham can't get the medical hardship, and we end up seeing him back by conferences with who knows what wrapped around his arm. So the one that was the most interesting to me was, just for us to talk about, was Stanich being at 133, because Stanich has already beaten a couple All-Americans at 141, and he's looked really good. So in I think February 7th, if we see Stanich wrestle February 7th, we know that that's going to be their guy, because they're going to want to get him some matches before conferences, some more matches, and they have to get him down at the weight. If we see Repos at Bucknell February 7th, then we know that it's either going to be Repos at conferences or it's going to be Crookham at conferences. Okay, so those are the two scenarios February 7th, and that's kind of what to make of it, really.
Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep, hear you fine.
It'd be stupid to try to get Crookham back this year. I don't care if it's hairline, all that time he lost, and doesn't it just make sense to he can get a med shirt, can he?
Maybe not. Well, here's the thing: is the Ivy Leagues, it's different. It's called a medical hardship, and it's a lot more difficult to get than the hotcakes they're handing out for the rest of the NCAA. You can see all the guys taking injury. It's unbelievable. They're getting these med shirts like nothing, but it's a lot harder in the Ivy League to get these medical shirts. So I know, like I said, Cornell is going to have Cornella and Greg trying to get these. I'm curious to see if any of these guys get them. So it's not a given. It's definitely not a given if he gets this or not. And he wants for 3 more years.
I'm holding the X-ray up to the NCAA. See, right there's hairline. If they're not going to give one for that, then
Ivy League doesn't care about their sports.
Amputated leg?
They really don't.
To get a hardship around here?
No, Wayne, I don't know I don't know exactly the details. I'm not even going to pretend to know why it's so hard to get it. Besides, the Ivy League doesn't really care about their sports that much compared to, what they should, but they don't. They just don't put they don't really have the backing that they should have. It's very frustrating.
So Minio was kind of right then.
Well, the thing that would have been nice is if he said, when you say broken elbow,
yeah,
what does that sound like? If you say a hairline fracture in his elbow, that sounds a little different. And what I would say is, he could be out for the postseason, or postseason's in jeopardy, or something along those lines, rather than just saying broken elbow out for the year.
Hey, that's
just my opinion.
We got to bring the eyeballs in, whatever it takes. Look at our thumbnail. Yeah. I don't know what Zach's going to get into here, but I already know it has some sort of stench about it.
Well, a couple other things, folks. We'll move on. Those are your injury updates. Full list of injuries right there. Kevin, you'll post them up on Facebook page. But talking about popularity, folks, because I want to talk about, I don't know if you heard, Bill Belichick hired at North Carolina, head football coach. He just pulled his first big recruit here, a 4-star quarterback from Texas.
Can I ask a question quick?
He looks a little fancy.
I was going to say, is that the guy?
He looks a little fancy.
Is that the guy? What's her name?
Okay. That guy that's a picture or video from him like when he was like a sophomore in high school or something, or a freshman. There's no excuse for that, though. It's weird. I know. It's weird.
Okay,
but
whatever.
What?
He ain't a wrestler.
How long?
We can all agree on that.
How long has she played football?
But anyway, 4-star quarterback.
She's got me.
My point being here, Rob Cole, at some point, Kevin is going to start reaping these benefits. I know you're a big Rob Cole fan. We're already seeing his coaching and the changes he's making there. North Carolina is here now, folks. And who was it? They just
big win over Virginia Tech. Yes, Virginia Tech, they just beat.
Yeah.
Rob Cole, now all of a sudden, NIL money is going to be flooding into North Carolina.
Carolina's
he said he goes, he was with Cornell and then Stanford. He's like, now you're giving me NIL and money and I can actually use the transfer portal. I said it before the season started. In 3 or 4 seasons, North Carolina is going to be at the top of the ACC, I think. Okay. I really do.
That's agreed, and this only puts the icing on the cake here. Belichick going there.
Yeah, and that's exciting. We all love this. We love when we see a program just coming, a UNI or a Carolina. We love it. We love it.
I love what Rob Cole's doing out there. Shout out Rob Cole, man. One of the
his alma mater.
Yeah.
You've been getting a lot of coaches top 5 rankings here. I think you're at like 6 now. You might need to do a ranking, dude. But
he's got 1A, 1B, 1C.
Yeah, but folks, listen, on a not as light of a note, the LA Olympics here. I don't know if I'm sure everyone's aware of all the fires going on out there. You know, the LA Olympics are scheduled to be in 2028 in LA. And I specifically am concerned about this because I was personally told by people in the know that wrestling is going to be showcased at
Can't hear you, Zach. They can't.
Okay. Wrestling's going to be showcased at these Olympics. And can't hear me. That's weird. I'm popping.
No, they're saying they can't. They said to speak in the mic more. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Wrestling's going to be showcased at these Olympics. And if LA is burning, and it's going to take 20, 30, 40 years to rebuild this city, I'm a little concerned, folks, at whether we're going to have this in LA or whether we're going to have to move it.
Oof.
But I think the fires are still burning.
That would be horrible. I really hope. You guys, we should go there. If they have if assuming everything's good, that would be great. Go to the Olympics. That would be wild.
Oh, if we're going to the Olympics. You better believe that. And it looks like Spencer Lee's going to be wrestling in these Olympics as well, along with who knows, maybe Gable. I don't know, but boom. You got any other things? I gotta get the main. We're deep into the show, folks.
Before you get going on whatever this may be, is I'm gonna one last little gripe. Gable, okay. We are saying come on back and play with the kids here. Go on. Play with the college kids here. You don't show up again for a Olympic team because you're on my team, USA, better be there, whether it's in L.A. or wherever.
I agree.
Better be there.
Just hang around.
Don't play with the kids and then not go to the men. That's. By the way, he's a gold medal for us if we just get him to show up. Okay, I'm done.
Could Spencer Lee? I mean, we could get into it, but folks, I got to talk about Kale's last stand because we've been doing a lot of interviews. We're getting a lot of Iowa love lately, which we're trying to spread as much love as we can to everyone in the country. But I've been having people giving me some slack, dude, not giving Penn State enough love.
That's right.
And I said, what are you talking about? First of all, I didn't even think it was possible.
You might as well have Penn State lay down, and you can pee all over them, bringing these Iowa wrestlers in. Oh, that's an interview with the Iowa wrestlers. Why don't you just pee on us? Why don't you?
No, well, listen, I love Penn State wrestlers, but they don't do interviews. I couldn't get one if I tried.
That's true.
Bosch is hogging them all up.
Now listen,
it
led me to think, dude. Led me to think. I'm leading down this alley of thinking, like, if I'm a high schooler, dude, if I'm thinking about what college, what school to go to, what am I thinking? Well, Penn State's the best, yes, but I don't know, dude. They're not doing any interviews, and I don't know if they're not allowed or they just don't want to. But Iowa wrestlers, I mean, Angela Ferrari is blowing up on BEG. Maybe I want to start considering Iowa now because they're getting the media hype, and all of a sudden I'm given a reason to go to another school that has a ranking in a major category higher than Penn State. And I said, this might be a chink in Penn State's armor. Kale, I don't think Kale can adapt to being socially savvy, okay? And I don't know if it's coming from Kale or the wrestlers, but it got me to thinking, if I'm a high schooler, if I'm Bo Bassett, do you think I want to go to Penn State if I'm Bo Bassett and be silent and not do interviews for 4 or 5 years? No, right? That makes sense.
I think it's a small percentage. I think a lot of wrestlers aren't concerned about the media aspect. But I hate to say it, you kind of made a little sense there. If a wrestler that's looking to build their brand and I mean, Penn Staters, maybe it's not anything to do with Cale. Maybe it's the Penn Staters that choose not to.
Well, throw this out there, Penn State wrestlers. I went an interview, okay, with some Penn State wrestlers. We ain't scared of Penn State wrestlers. I ain't scared. I mean, I never thought it was even possible for us to be labeled as not Penn State.
You know how we can get to the bottom of this? And in case you're listening, Bonnie, we want to interview you.
Bonnie.
I think Bonnie's in charge here.
I'd also like Jeff Byers. I'd like an interview with Jeff Byers. And
that's true. That's true.
That should be doable.
Did you ever hear how much I praise Jeff Byers? If Jeff Byers happens to hear this episode, he has to give us an interview, right?
I think I have someone who could get in touch with him, but I don't like to be like needy guy.
Needy guy.
I don't like being needy guy, dude.
Do you guys think though? Like, let me ask you this, Zach. Do you think that how do you think it was behind closed doors with Starachi and Cal after Starachi said the things he did about AJ? Do you think that he was just like, whatever, boys will be boys, or do you think he was like, you can't be doing that? I'm wondering what that was like, how that went, Yeah, because he said some pretty crazy things.
I think Carter probably got the most stern version of Cale that you'll ever get after that.
Maybe, but just to put your little thing to the test here. Okay, how many Iowa interviews have we seen lately? Oh, we seen Angelo. He was on BEG actually twice. Well, didn't we just see Starachi on
Bo Nichols? I felt like that was in response.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about over there?
Get Carter? But you know what? But even to further leverage my point, one of the only you got Flo. They're 90% of the media. But then another big up to this point that does interviews, maybe the biggest that does interviews, has been Bashamania. Penn State homers. Mm-hmm. So that's been a Penn State outlet, and all of a sudden now, if there's another school with an outlet of a podcast to do interviews, you know what I mean? Like, we're open to anyone and everyone. Fair game across the board, folks. Let me say that.
No, I have Justin Bash actually knows what he's talking about. They are his guys. We can't get them. We can't get any Penn State guys because they're his guys. And
he locked them Justin
up.
Justin lives down the road from me. Actually, he lives in like 2 towns over.
Really?
I should. He lives in Spencerport, which is right.
I got costumes. Kevin, do you want to? Let's go prank him one night.
I got to give him costumes. He locked up the whole daggone team, and you know what? Actually, I like his podcast.
Actually, that's not true. I interviewed Aaron Brooks, man. That's
true, but
he was honest with me too, dude.
That's true.
What
he did? Didn't he say you could ask? He said you can ask whatever you want, right?
Yeah,
that's true.
And I asked him about if David Taylor called you or texted you, would you answer? And he said, I think I'd probably text him back after the fact or
something. when you said that to me though, that really like changed a lot of the way I thought about Brooks. I was really like impressed that he said that to you. Like, you can ask me anything you want when he's
that
like
impressed me.
Good. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I'm a big Penn State fan, folks. I can be an Iowa and a Penn State fan.
Whoa.
I'm a bigger Iowa fan, way bigger, but I'm also a Penn State fan.
I'm a fan of good wrestling.
State fan. Also,
he's quickly turning into an Oklahoma State fan. Next thing we know, he'll have Oklahoma State posters up behind us.
Don't you dare.
But looking forward, folks, that was it. Let's talk about let's wrap this up with what we have to look forward to in the next week, and that is Penn State and number 4 Nebraska, and that is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Big.
So Friday we have Penn State, Nebraska.
Big.
We have Iowa and Illinois on Friday, and then on Sunday we have number 5 Minnesota and Michigan. We have Oklahoma State and West Virginia. And then on the 24th, we have Penn State, Rutgers, Michigan, Nebraska, Iowa State, Oklahoma, UNI. Let's talk about UNI.
Whoa!
Oklahoma State.
Whoa! That's going to be fun.
10 days
124.
Yeah,
UNI, Oklahoma State. I hope they don't hire me now.
Wow, the number 2 and number 4.
I hope they daggone don't hire me now.
In the nation. And then finally, on the 25th, Iowa and Ohio State. But this is meat. Folks, we're in the meat. Kevin?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I try and keep things real, despite my Cornell bias. But when I was watching that dual meet last night, Oklahoma State, I'm watching just the lighting and everyone's pumped up and it's a full crowd and I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then I'm watching replays of the Cornell Lehigh match, right, where I got half the gym is gymnastics going on, the other half is the wrestling, and then you got 30 guys that haven't been in any wrestling matches chanting stalling, stalling, and I'm thinking to myself, man, atmosphere is so important when recruiting. I'm shocked Cornell gets the recruits they do, but I'd really wish that they would just step it up with the atmosphere because that Oklahoma State atmosphere is something else. That's one of the best things I think he's done is just, I don't know exactly what it was like beforehand, but it's pretty wild there right now.
It's fun. It's fun there.
I got to say something before I forget. I'm sorry to change subjects like this. We got to give a tip of the hat to Mark Hooser. Did I?
Oh, yeah.
Mark Husser, dude.
Mark Husser.
He runs the Scramble Wrestling Uncut Facebook group.
Is that who that is?
Awesome. Yeah, he's awesome.
I met him at the Olympic trials.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big Iowa fan, big Iowa guy. Very intimidating guy.
That's the snot
we
brat
met him,
that came back and beat me at Madness.
He won he beat you?
Yeah, he did.
He got first in BEG, you got second. And the OGs, he got first, I got second.
Oh my, he's
Mark Husser
schooled us both, didn't he?
He's a good dude. He's a real good dude. I like him. We met him at the trials, right?
Yeah,
Olympic trials, Zach.
Yeah.
Also, tip of the hat to Mark Hughes, who I end up tying for second. Who he is a regular contributor at BEG's Facebook chat.
We getting Mark Husser on the show? Didn't he say he wants to come on the show?
Yes. Yeah, he put a thumbs up. That means yes
We're going
to
to get Mark on the show, man. That's what he gets for winning that.
Yeah.
Or Wrestle Madness. Get on the show. But, folks, this has been a great show. What a great show,
Well,
right?
I got to just say, one last, it was fun having Kevin. Now, we have these audios, little thing. You're not giving up, are you? You're still peppering away at that audio. Look, he went and bought these things. Look at this. In our ears. But what happened?
I don't know. Did they die? I don't know. Did that die? Did the receiver die? I don't know. But we'll figure it out, folks. We're slowly getting there.
We're trying.
I admire what you're doing, son. You're not caving in. You got taken down for 2. Probably. That
was good up till then, though.
With 4 back points, maybe.
I'm pretty sure it was
depending on how much they cost. But I can tell he's a little mad about this. I can tell. You get to know your son, you know. But
we're getting better.
Zach's like, let's shut it. Let's kill it now. Dad, I'm done. Let's shut this. I'm just getting started, son.
Oh, are you now?
No, I'm supposed to promote us.
Yes.
My wife said.
Oh,
the reason you guys don't have any job, the reason you got to go get a job is because you don't do any self-promotion.
No.
First off, all we want is maybe a like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe
how about
is what
this?
We want,
begwrestling.com. Guess what you're going to find there?
Kevin's rankings updated here within 24 hours, right, Kevin?
Yeah, and dual rankings and tournament rankings.
Are they beating the tar out of you this week?
It was the worst thing ever this week. Yeah, it's been really bad. There was over 100 upsets, and it was brutal. And I go through every one of those names, and it was just brutal. Let's put it that way. So, they'll be up in probably another hour or so.
Last week, as soon as you got them done, me and you did a show to kind of review the changes. Can we look for another show like that this week?
Yeah, let's do that. That was fun.
See, we got to get the word out. We got to.
I agree.
I'm president of marketing from now on.
On that point, folks, in addition to that, we have something new coming soon. It's memberships. Nothing taken away from what we have, but if maybe you can't take an hour, what are we going on, an hour and 10 minutes of us? How about 5 minutes? Can you take 5 minutes? Because I'm going to start weekly Fanco style BEG summaries. 5 to 7 minutes, no longer.
Every
biggest topics, I'm burning through them, and that's going to be.
First off, I know you'll do a good job because I've seen your editing. Second off,
editing's
everyone,
awesome.
Kevin confirmed me on this. Everyone in the world loved Fanco. Now he's gone. Mm-hmm. Fanco, basically, in case you don't know, folks, was the sports center for wrestling. He did a very good job of that.
Yeah.
You're telling us.
He left. We're going to fill that space. I'm going to fill that space weekly. So I'm going to be putting out my first this week. So.
And that's
going
to be part of, to be able to see this,
first one's free, but then
you have to be a member.
Going forward. Yep.
What else will these members get?
A lot of stuff. We'll have a video that I need you to make with me breaking it down. And we haven't even finalized. We're in talks with other people to collaborate on this, folks. So things are brewing, but they will be finalized within the upcoming week or so. So nothing.
What's the chances a member would be able to say they were busy that week? They could make a call to you to maybe like mow their yard or something like that. What are you laughing about?
Zero.
I'm selling. How much is this membership going to cost?
$25. Oh, $4.99.
Well, that at least mow the front yard, maybe.
Oh boy,
you got me lost, dude. What are you talking about? What?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
You got anything else, Kevin? Final thoughts.
That's it, man. We'll definitely do that show with the rankings. Thanks for having me on, guys. It's always fun.
Okay,
you, Kevin.
Thanks for all the work you do in the rankings. Looking forward to a show either with Zach or me coming up to review the ranking changes. And for all of you, of course, hit like and subscribe, but also streaming. We want to stream your event, high school, college, you name it. We'll be there. And contact this man right there.
That's right. Folks, that's it. Like and subscribe. And until we're back in just a couple days, this is BEG Wrestling. Thanks for watching.